You still on their way?
Yeah, small fish. Fun though.
And a setting as well. Superb.
Yeah. Well, it's a beautiful setting actually, and it's a far better day than was forecast, which is great. We'll take that all day long. Here he comes anyway. There you go, look, peas in a pod. Not big fish, but
Fun fish.
fun fish.
Oh, I see one come out then.
One jump there.
Yeah. Another one there. If they're all height, those the cliffs there, aren't they? Surprising.
Oh yeah. Oh, you want to jump off one?
Right, I'm in. Oh, got one jigging. Got a camera in my mouth. That was deeper, Wayne. You should get them deeper.
There's a little surface. Fun, don't it?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Oh, it's a better fish. Oh, he's off again. Oh, happy days. What's that word beginning with F? 2 in a row.
Graeme, yeah, I hear you've had some success with our sidewinder switchblades on the bass.
Well, Wayne has, I didn't. He had outfished me.
I see. And he wouldn't tell you what he was using until the end.
No.
That's anglers, I'm afraid. But if you've got a moment, I'll just talk you through this range of metal lures that we've brought out under sidewinder a couple of years ago now. And yeah, we were looking around for a top quality metal spinner to brand under sidewinder, which is obviously our most famous brand, and we opted for this design. And some unique features of it, it comes fitted with a ball bearing swivel, okay, all stainless steel split rings, comes with a treble hook, an option of a single inline hook as well, if that's your fishing style. Where we've named it the Switchblade because it's got a unique paint on it, which is called an allochromatic paint. And I don't know if you can catch that with the camera, but you can see it changes colour with the light.
I saw it flick then.
Yeah, this one is a purpley green. We have got a gold one here, which goes a goldy brown colour. And then we do one which doesn't have a allochromatic, just a pearl, because pearl's such a...
I've never heard of allochromatic, never mind spell it.
Neither had I.
All I know is Wayne was out fishing me on the bass, so the bass know what allochromatic is.
One of our overseas suppliers came up with this paint, and we thought it's just what we're looking for. So on one side you've got your standard chrome finish. We put a little Union Jack on there because we're an English company and we love England. Yeah. And then on the other side you've got your allochromatic paint. So when it goes through the water, especially in the sunlight, it's not doing it any justice here underneath these fluorescent lights, but in the sunshine you can really see the difference. You know, and purple green looks a bit like a mackerel back, to be honest. Yeah. We fitted it with what we call a bubble box, so when you put it through the water,
is that hole?
Yeah, this hole creates a vibration and a water bubble trail. And on the side of the lure we've put some very high vis luminous paint, which we call hotspots, just like a bite point for the fish. And all together then what you end up with is quite a unique lure. Okay, there's a lot of metals out there, but there's none quite like this. We do it in a variety of sizes ranging from 15 gram up to 60 gram for your boat boys maybe, and we do 3 colours. We do your allochromatic purpley one, we do the gold, and then we do the plain and they've all got chrome backs. So that's basically the Switchblade.
And what would you fish them on fluorocarbon or something like leaders, would you?
Yeah, I would fish with a fluoro leader. I tend to recommend fluoro leaders for pretty much everything, if I'm honest with you. Don't just tie it straight onto your braid or whatever. On the back of the packaging, what we've done, which we're rolling out across all sidewinders, is we've included a little QR code there, so that when you're in the shop, you can get your phone out, you can take a shot of that, and that will lead you to a video that will show you the lure in the water, and it will also show you it spinning around in the sunshine, so you can see the allochromatic effect. But yeah, that's a basic synopsis of the Sidewinder Switchblade.
A very good, I would imagine, the smaller size of mackerel as well.
Yeah, they're great for all sort of like small predatory fish, Graeme, whether it's mackerel, bass, hopefully, pollock, love them. It's a good all-round metal lure, and like I say, we've just concentrated on top quality components because there's a hell of a lot of cheap crap metal out there, as everyone knows. And that's not where we're aiming with Sidewinder. We want stainless steel splits, we want great quality hooks, and like I said, ball bearing swivels rounds off the picture of something that's a bit unique, does catch, and you won't see anything else quite like it.
And you should be able to order those through most tackle shops, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I'd like to say that all good tackle dealers have got the Switchblades in stock, or you can get them direct from sidewinderlures.co.uk at the same sort of retail price you pay in the shops.
So you can market them and get them yourself.
Yeah. If you can't find them in your local tackle dealer, you can go onto Sidewinder Lures, and we've got a retail website where you can buy all the Sidewinder stuff.
What sort of length leader, if you're out boat fishing the bass like we were, just sort of relatively inshore? A couple of feet and then a barrel swivel?
Yeah, a couple of feet, maybe 3 or 4. You don't need to go 6 to 8 feet. That's too long, really. Because I would say that's more for lures. You want a bit more action before you hit your weight. But with this sort of metal, the action's in the metal, and 3 or 4 feet of leader.
And then a snap, a decent size. What sort of snap at the end to attach your lure in case you want to change sizes?
I personally use these fish graphs. Okay, they call them graphs. There's 3 different sizes of these. There's a million different types of lure attachment clips. These little tiny ones, Graeme, they're a £20 weight, and then really £35 is probably all you're going to need. Very nice and easy.
That's like the I call it breaking strain of the line. That's a poundage.
That's the poundage. They're
so even that tiny size here, guys, it's over £30
that's
strain on it.
Yeah, that's right. Very, very neat and easy to use. And once again, as with all fish stuff, top quality. I use those myself. There's, as you know, Graeme, a huge variety of snaps and links, whether it's breakaway fast links, spin links, mini links, Gemini, you name it, there's loads of it. This stuff's as good as it gets. Pairs up very neatly with what we do with the lures. We don't actually have a range of clips under Sidewinder. One of the reasons is there's so much of it out there already, and as far as we're concerned, the fish stuff is as good as it gets, so I would go with those.
I think it's a polite word, projects. Over here I've made an attempt at what I think is some sort of fretsaw, jigsaw, hacksaw. Belonged to daughter-in-law's father. Been rotting in the shed for 4 years, 5 years. There's no chance of getting the bolts off here. It's got a pulley, I'll show it to you. Take that out, Graeme, you stupid child. It's got a pulley belt here, pulley belt there. I've switched it on tentatively. This one whizzes around, that one will go up and down, as you can see, up there. But the belt has stretched. So, Jim, one of our car people, said, new base. Well, not surprised to you, look at it. Might not get the nuts off, but he said if I cut 2 holes, a hole here, well, just say there's a hole, and a slot, cut it out with a jigsaw, that gives me an adjustment whereby the bolts go in here with oversized washers. I can put the old belt on, push it back up this way and get it tight. So I've got no chance of getting the bolts out, so I'm just going to see if I can split some of this wood off. I'll let you know what it is here when I can read it. And there is actually a name somewhere on here. We can see the state it's in, rotted out. I'm going to leave it mounted on those 2. Well, perhaps not. Oh, it's my finger going into it. Perhaps there's 2 new bits of wood there. I'll relocate that probably somewhere, the on-off. Well, it's a mess. Let's see if we can salvage it though. Here's a bolt. I can get the angle grinder with a bit of luck on that. Cut that off and I might be able to pull it through. God knows how old this is, 50 years. Well, at least I feel it's long older than that. You can see it's got like ridges in it. I took it to Jim, the car man, and he said there's probably nothing wrong with that, it just needs the adjustment here. He said there's a bit of a wear on the angle because there's a little bit of shine where it's rubbed on the edge of the pulley wheel. No, this is a tapered pulley wheel. Now I could have bound up the pulley wheel, couldn't I? Made it fatter so that goes on tighter. But he said the proper way to do it, remount, get rid of the base here, get a new base. Now I've seen that soft, that's all rotted out, I have to get that out. Hopefully, he said this should still be easily good enough to drive that saw. Fingers crossed. Well, there's the motor loose anyway. Well, that's the motor off, so just lever these off clips and I can hopefully ease that motor away. There we go, that's the motors off.
chance that you've been waiting for. It's the light coming through the cracks. When life shows an open door, come on, step through. A chance like the purest gold. Come on, come on. When life shows an open road, you know you should ride. Forget what you've been told and ride this open road. This open road. This open road. Boom, boom, that knock on your door, it's sounding further away. Don't lose sight like was times before. This is now today. When life shows an open door, come on, step through. A chance like the purest gold. Come on, come on. When life is an open road, you know you should ride. Forget what you've been told and ride this open road. When life shows an open door, come on, step through. A chance like the purest gold. Come on, come on. When life is an open road.
Hi Graham, I'm just going to talk through some little feeders with you. So these ones caught your eye and you mentioned them to me, like they're old ones that have been around the shop for a while, and they do still sell, but it's obviously a bit out of vogue. So these are what they call a method feeder. It's in line and it's what they call a little coil method feeder. As you see, there's nothing technical there. That is a bit of plastic tubing. There is a lead weight inside it. Some of them are just the coil with nothing.
That's the ones I've got, I think, yeah.
Yeah, so you just thread the line through, swivel bead, you squeeze your bait round it.
Yeah.
You can either pop your bait onto it as well, cast out, and away you go.
And the sleeve on the end is what for?
Little sleeves is anti-tangle sleeves.
Anti-tangle,
So
yeah.
I think just where that's been an open plasticky edge, might be a bit sharper.
Yes,
Caps,
yeah,
things
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. It might even rub on the fish a bit. So I think just that is just not as aggressive as the plastic there. So
Yeah.
it's just a piece of rubber. So yeah, nothing special, but yeah, cool little. I like things like this on small rivers. You know, where you don't
Yeah,
want
yeah.
big splashes
Too
and
much,
things like that.
that's
Yeah,
it.
just a little bit of bait, just to get a bite. You know. So, or you know, winter fishing when it's a bit harder, you want less
And it's
bait
not
to
crashing
go out.
in the water, is
It's not
it?
crashing, very light to cast in. Some of you might recognise these straight away, being
Yeah.
the Camazan black caps. Been around for, I don't know,
Some time.
as long as I can remember. There are some different versions that are longer as well, with different weights. So they generally come in a, I don't know if we can see the weights on there, that's a 20 gram.
Yeah.
They do a 10 gram, and as you can see the weights get slightly fatter on them, so that's a 30 gram, and I believe that's a 30.
And they've sort of got a sprung cap to them, haven't they? I seem to
They
remember.
have, so what they've actually got in them, if I can undo one, you see that? That is a bit of power gum. Do you remember power gum?
Oh, power gum, I remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and you can see if you look inside the feeder, that lead weight just got two hooks that bend round. And then the power gum,
Yeah.
I don't know if we can get in there. If I go that way around, you might see it a bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can see the red bits, the power gum is just tied in a loop with a swivel put through it, and then hooks up on the inside. So it basically just
keeps the lid on there, doesn't fall off.
You don't lose
Don't get me
it.
wrong, if that breaks, it's not the end of the world. You can retie that. You can buy power gum in most tackle shops. Power gum is just a bit stretchy.
Yeah, I know a lot of older feeders, they used to split on the edge with a cap on, off, and then you drop the cap.
They drop the cap.
Caps fall off, slide up the line, and it's horrible.
Game over. So yeah, they do, I think, 3 different sizes. There's a small, medium, and they do the large, which is the same diameter but longer. You know, either known as a maggot feeder or a block end feeder.
Yeah, maggots on the 7, I think I was first introduced the barbel for them.
So depending on rivers and where you fish, obviously you can see the holes we've got in the feeders, yeah? So this is another bigger type of dren. It's called a flat oval block end feeder, or we can see on there actually. It's just got block end stamped on there, I don't know if that stands up. Your weight's built into it. They're a bit jazzy, these ones, from the old ones, to be fair, they're nice.
Oh, we've got a hinged lid to it.
Hinged lid, but the lid again is just sat on the, toe piece. Yeah, and your swivel's connected on a fused loop, so it won't come off.
And a nice long sort of support tail to it, to the swivel.
Yeah, so it gives you a bit of a boom effect as well, so it pushes it away. They also do inline versions of these. I didn't get any out, so they do one inline that comes straight through, so you can attach your swivel straight through. And I have found a short link on an inline one on some rivers where they're feeding off the feeder, you pick them up quicker.
So you think they could be better, yeah?
Yeah, so it depends where you're fishing, you know, and what you're doing. So,
and I see, I'm looking at that, you see that guy's 2 holes there?
Yeah.
If you want more to come out, what would you do? Can you fire a couple extra holes in?
Yeah, you could get your drill and drill out a few, make them bigger, or make these slightly big, let it flow through, or the opposite, depending on the river speed and how fast it's flowing. Sometimes the maggots might come out too fast for you and you want them to trickle out. You can obviously, you've probably done it yourself over the years, Graham, tape them up with electrical tape and have less holes. So it's just trickling through maybe top and bottom.
Top and bottom, I think we used to do years ago.
Different weights again and different sizes. I think I believe these go up to...
Maybe that's why they've only got the 2 holes on the top, is to push the maggots out more on the bottom, along the riverbed or something. So you say that's a river feeding one.
It's a river feeding. Don't get me wrong, you can use it in a lake, of course you can use it inside, but it is designed to sit on the river, flat edge, bottom, sit nose down. It pushes over the top, as you say, and then there's more holes around the bottom for the bait to flow out. Yeah, different size, 70 gram ones. The sizes are actually written on the inside, so we probably won't be able to see it in there. So that's 2 ounces at 56 grams.
Yeah, it's 4 sizes there you've got, so.
Yeah, and then we've got a 1.5 ounce there, which is, I think, get the brain into gear, 42 grams, sorry.
And then we move on to the standard open-end feeder, would you call them?
So, yeah, just an open-end oval feeder, these called. So these are the more heavyweight versions that Drennan do. And all they do is they've got ones in a greeny colour cage rather than the gold, or like a bronzy brown. And you can see this is the weight attached on the back.
Yeah.
Really good, absolutely love them. I think they're a great feeder. 70 grams, so ideal for fishing the heavier waters. They've got the heavier weights in the smaller feeders now as well, so that's 40 grams, but you've got a 65, I believe, and we've got a few different shapes and styles. Obviously,
these would be built average for most people, I would think, beginners.
Yeah, definitely. So I still fish with these a lot, like when I've been fishing the River Wye and things like that. I've always used these. I quite like them. So yeah, just an oval cage feeder.
And you can get extra weights as well.
You can. So these, I'm going to sound ridiculous here, Graham. I've always known these as dead cows, and I'm assuming it's because they look like they're upside down with the legs in the air.
Oh, I see. I wonder how many other anglers know it as that. Guys, put it in the comments page. Have you ever heard these extra weights called dead cows?
You'll probably find some of the older generation guys might remember them from before. So, but the idea of the pegs it's different on every feeder. So if you want to add some weight, you could possibly add it on the side or on the top. Depends who you do it. So you just literally, you can plug it on the top, and that's 85 grams there. Yeah,
and you just bend those tag ends
round. Your tag ends in. You give them a push. You can even shave them down if they don't quite go in.
That's in already, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to push it all the way, so I don't want to push it out. And you just, because it's lead, you can bend.
It's soft enough to bend with your finger.
Look at that, and you bend over, so you can just grab them on. So you can add them to all sorts of feeders. Obviously, that looks a bit cumbersome chucked on the top like that.
Yeah, but they put them on the bottom or wherever.
Yeah, you'd add it on the bottom. Well, another one I should have actually got some out for you. If you guys, when you get your wheels balanced on your car, they do stick-on wheel weights.
Oh yeah, I know.
The alloy wheels. I've got some somewhere in the shop, and they come with an adhesive strip onto it already. You pull that off and stick it straight on the back there, and they're a bit flatter, and they've got a good amount of weight to them, being lead.
That's true.
So you can bulk up your weight on your feeders, that on your fast flowing rivers, if that helps.
That's a good tip, guys.
So also, I'm going to show you another feeder. You can look at this monstrosity of thing, looks massive. It's what we call a bait up feeder. So a lot of the guys, probably the match anglers out there, if they've been match fishing, they might have seen some videos and stuff about it. So they do sell things called bait up feeder rods. I believe you can use your feeder rods you're using, but
it's a fair lump, isn't it?
It's a big feeder with a small weight, yeah. So it's 30 grams, but a very large feeder, yeah. Whereas you think,
and what do they use that for?
That's
then,
better.
yeah.
So if you were feeder fishing, most people, not most, but you know, you fish on a clip. Yeah, so you'll start off on the clip, fish at say 20 yards, you pick your spot, and you want to get some ground bait as a bed out there to start with. So obviously chucking your little feeder out there once,
forever, yeah.
and you sat there forever, you're not getting a lot of bait out there to occupy the fish to keep them there. But at winter times you might use a smaller float, smaller feeder.
It's been a long day.
It has been a long day. The idea is, so say if I was starting off to use my bait up feeder, I'd fill it up with ground bait, plug it all up together, and then I'd put it on the clip and I would cast, and basically, as it says, it's a bait up feeder. Cast it out, chuck it out, let it settle, give it a tug, all the bait falls out, and basically you're just pre-baiting your spot. So if you're float fishing at a distance you can chuck bait, you generally throw your maggots in your bait or your ball of ground bait. So that's essentially what you're doing. You're laying a bed of bait down for you to fish to keep the fish in the area. So that's the larger side of things, slightly smaller, because you might be fishing in the winter, you might want to get a little bit more out. But again, that weighs 20 grams. And believe it or not, they do go slightly bigger again if you want to get even more bait.
Never seen them before, Graeme. No. So that's something new.
So past that, you'd go to a spom or a spod. So we'll talk you about it time. But something I thought you might want to see, Graeme, because you've not, I don't think you've used these before. So these are called loop ties. They've been about for a while. Various companies do them, Ringers, Sensors, Guru. So these are the new Guru ones, which I quite like because they come with a discorder on the bottom. They've got a slightly angled edge, so you can take the hook out easier. So I'll give you a little demonstration. So the idea of these, a bigger loop, a small loop. So when you look at your hook lengths that you get, and you get these lovely little same size loops. They repeat the same size loop, and you think, you end up with big loops, small loops, medium loops. They're all over the place sometimes. So it's a way of regulating your loop size. So I'll show you with some thicker line, guys. Probably a bit thicker than you used to, so the knot will look a bit bulkier. So there's a couple of ways of doing it. I do it this way. I find it the easiest to teach people. So you see the loop there?
Yep.
I pull the line tight so it's together. I push, and I generally bring my hand out actually, and then pull it back into here, and then pinch with my forefinger and thumb.
Yep.
You can see we've got quite a big loop. You're going to think, wow, he's tying a massive loop there. Okay, I'm going to put this, the hockey stick as I'm going to call it, over both bits here, yeah?
Yep.
We're going to twist once, then we go twice, and then you can see we're going to go put this big loop
through the sort of jaws on
through the jaws in the centre. And if you look, I'm going to place my finger here so it doesn't all pop out the back. And then we're just going to tighten down ever so slowly. Obviously, if it's in a fishing scenario, wet your knots, guys, because we don't want the friction to burn and cut the knot. And if you just pull off towards you, it will grip onto it and hold the loop. Yeah, you can see that change there?
Oh God, the loop's tiny.
And there's my regulated size loop.
Yeah, I'll just move that on the fingers, just about there.
Yeah.
I thought, like as you said, it's going to be a giant loop.
Let's see better.
Yeah, no, against your shirt's the one.
Against there.
That's it, that's it. Now I can see it. Let me just go in on that. You can see, guys, how small that loop is. And that's matchman size, I say.
Matchman size, yeah. So that's the larger loop. There's a slightly smaller one as well. So
no, forget that smaller one. That's not happening with me.
You know, it's great. You wouldn't think this little contraption here would be able to regulate your loop size like that. So a very clever, basic piece of kit. But
how do people think this up? Have they got too much time on their hands? Are they waiting for a bite for too long?
I think so, but believe it or not, that's a reinvention.
That's handy tool, isn't
That
it?
is a reinvention of an older style that used to be two straight prongs that used to do a similar job, but I'd say this is easier to use. So great bit of kit. I'm sure most shops do stock them, but yeah, pop in and ask guys for a demo on them. They're really cool bits of kit, and we sell lots of them.